everybody, welcome back, welcome to the Witching Week. Today is episode number 17. Today I am drinking just some good old-fashioned hot chocolate and I am burning some sati incense called Meditation. So let's hope I don't kind of drift off in the middle of this video. So it's a beautiful, beautiful winter's day today. 9th of December, and it's sunny, it's crisp out there. I'm just looking out the window. It's crisp and it's really, really cold. We've had -4 here this week, and there's a lot of discussion, isn't there, around the start of winter. The same thing goes for the summer as well. So there's always a discussion around the Winter Solstice, which is less than 2 weeks away now. And some people say that that is the start of winter. Other people say that it's the middle of winter, hence the name midwinter. And of course, meteorologists, they count the start of winter being the 1st of December. And I definitely think there's been, from the end of November, there's been a sort of a big step up, and especially this week, we have proper winter temperatures now. So yeah, what do you guys think? So thank you for all your support in the last couple of weeks. Our boiler is now working. We have a brand new boiler. Thank you to my lovely hubby for sorting that out. We cannot, unfortunately, afford to run our heating in the way that once we could. We would have to run our heating day and night to keep any kind of, just ambient temperature really in the house. And with the, I don't want to call it a crisis, the cost of living crisis, it's actually a cost of living emergency. And yeah, I think we should call it what it is. And it now means that we have been completely priced out of staying warm in our own home. They have, and that's because prices have obviously gone up significantly. And I know there are things going on around the world that cause things to go up, but I've said before, this isn't a political channel, but it is my channel, and I'm going to mention it every now and then. I do think this is a choice by our government not to levy, to impose a levy on the sort of on the utility companies, a windfall tax. So we cannot afford to have the heating on in the way that we should have it on. They've advised this week that people pre-existing conditions have their heating set to 18 at all times, and then wear several layers of clothing. Well, we can't afford to do that. So it's ridiculous. And we're in a sort of a reasonably good position compared to a lot of people. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting winter. It's going to be a hard winter, and it's going to be a very cold winter. I've currently got 5 pairs of socks on because we have wooden floors and we've got tiles in the kitchen, so my feet are always absolutely freezing whether I've got slippers or socks on or whatever. So what else has been going on? I am currently planning our Moot Yule Party with the lady who runs the Moot, and I am going to be officiating, so I'm very much sort of stepping into that priestess role. I'd really like to hear from the over 40s here. Did you get to a point where suddenly you felt very much like that was something you should be doing, perhaps leading some of the younger sort of people and generations? I am a complete wallflower. I am so shy, and putting myself out there, even just doing these videos, once upon a time I wouldn't even post selfies, and I'm finding that as I've got older, I've suddenly got this urge to teach, to pass on knowledge, to step into this role where actually I'm perhaps taking the lead rather than being led and watching someone else do it. And I remember being 17, 18 and interacting with sort of older ladies and older pagans, and very much looking up to them and learning from them and thinking, wow, I'd really like to be like them someday. And yeah, I don't know where it's coming from, but I've got this urge to step up and take on those roles. So really, really looking forward to that. I'm not sure if I'll be looking forward to it quite as much on the day when I've got a circle of people around me and I'm having to raise my voice and shout hail and welcome to the elements. But I'm sure I will find my confidence and my courage from somewhere. What are you guys all up to? I'd love to hear. Thank you so much for leaving me comments, especially in the last couple of weeks when I was out without heat and I only posted a quick update. There is something as well that I really want to talk to you guys about this week, and that's the direction of this channel. I really appreciate all you people who have subscribed and have been following me week after week, and there's definitely sort of a core group of you who are really active, and I really appreciate it. I was going to talk today within this session about black candles. It's a topic that I'm going to be talking about on Instagram this week, and it really got me thinking about the direction of travel for this channel, and I'm really stuck on something. If I'm going to talk about little witchy subjects throughout the week, every single week, that's quite a lot to keep up, and I wondered if I should. I've been talking about doing videos on witchy subjects. I've done a few, and I've been saying that those are going to come in the new year when I get round to it, but I'm wondering, do I keep those videos as standalone videos, but then sometimes I deprive myself of things to talk about when there's not much going on, or do I integrate that into the witching week and it be yes, we'll do the tarot cards and the little things that are in the news. Like, for example, last week I was talking about the archaeological discoveries in Rutland. Do I incorporate that into the witching week so that I always have something to talk about and I just make the episodes a bit longer? Or should I be focusing more on just doing standalone witchcraft subjects and having both? I'm really aware that the witching week ends up being me talking about my life a lot of the time, which isn't particularly very exciting, and I just don't know where I should be going with this really. If you've got any ideas at all, if you have a viewpoint, even if you feel like you think it's negative, if you have suggestions, absolutely any feedback at all, I would really love to hear. Sometimes I get round to the point in the week where I'm recording and I don't have much to say. There are going to be some weeks, it's life, isn't it? There's stuff going on with children and houses and husbands, and it doesn't always, it's not always going to make sense that there's not going to be a situation where there's something to talk about all the time. And I'm definitely feeling that as we go into the winter. I'm definitely feeling like there aren't as many topics. We don't get out as much, so there's less for me to tell you about, that I've been up to. And quite frankly, that lowering of energy and that feeling of wanting to hibernate is very much a thing. So I don't know what to do. If you've got any suggestions at all, let's consider this a vote. Do I keep the witching week separate and then do videos on top of that, or do I combine the witching week with topics and have like a main topic for each witching week and then maybe slot in the other little ones around it so that each episode has a bit more to it? I don't know. Please let me know what you think. I would really love to hear honest feedback. I just don't want to have a channel where I'm putting in, loads of work into it and everyone's just getting really bored. Maybe on the flip side, you do actually just enjoy this. I mean, the whole point of it was just to sit down, have a cup of tea, connecting with you guys, give you guys an opportunity to listen to a witch/pagan talk about everyday life. And maybe you like these episodes. Let me know. I'd really appreciate it if you haven't commented before, but this is just one thing you lend me your voice on. I'd really like to hear what I should do, because I've recorded about 9 minutes now, and I'm very aware that there hasn't been an awful lot to say. Yes, I could talk about Yule. I've got loads of information and facts and the details on how the solstice works and what this means for you at home and blah blah blah, but we're still a couple of weeks away from the solstice just yet, so I do try and have not a schedule but some structure to these these episodes, but it does mean that, you know, I have some of them where I'm just like completely stuck for things to talk about, or the, you know, the week has whizzed around a bit quick and it's just been boring, mundane stuff so far. So yes, let me know what you think. Because like I say, I was going to talk about black candles, and even that was a difficult one, because lots of people that watch me on YouTube follow me on Instagram, and it kind of makes sense for me with the way that my brain works and the struggles that I have. It makes sense for me to cover the topics that I've been talking about this week. But for those of you that have migrated over here from Instagram, if you've already read a post about black candles, for example, you're not going to really want to hear me talking about it perhaps on here. But then I'm very aware of the fact that YouTube has its own whole community, and some of you on here are, you know, probably quite likely not on Instagram. So, you know, I need to give you that content. So yeah, I just didn't know what to do today about that. So let me know where you think we should go with that. And yeah, in the meantime, I'm going to do some cards. It's a fairly quick one this week. Like I said, I've got, you know, loads of Yule stuff coming up, but we've still got another couple of weeks yet. So I don't want to use or talk about that today, and then we have nothing to talk about further on next week, you know, in the month. So let's do some cards. Okay, so an interesting blend of cards here. Immediately while I was pulling these out, I was feeling like these are cards related to the cost of living emergency and the squeeze that everybody is feeling right now. So I'm just going to quickly show you what we've got. We have got the Five of Pentacles. We have got the Nine of Swords. We have got the Six of Cups, we've got the King of Pentacles, and we have got Judgment. So I think the energy this week for many people in the world, and especially the UK right now, is kind of reminiscing back to a time when things perhaps were financially very different to what they are now. You know, thinking about Yule and Christmas as the theme here, I think that many people are very worried and are actually being kept awake at night by their worries and their fears and their anxieties over how they're going to be able to afford things, how they're going to be able to provide for their families and friends. And they're going to be thinking about past Christmases and past Yules, and thinking that they are not able to celebrate in the way that they're used to. They're not being able to give in the way that they once, you know, could. I'm really sorry, I'm tripping over my words today. I think you get you know where I'm coming from. And there's very much that judgment on oneself about being a good provider, about not only just providing what's needed, but, you know, giving more than you are able to, and giving what you want to. I'm definitely feeling that myself this year. As it is, you know, I have very little and I can only give, you know, a tiny bit each year to my loved ones. But I'm feeling even more this year that, you know, that's not quite, it's just not hitting the nail on the head. And it's really easy, isn't it, to reminisce back to other times, reminisce back to perhaps your childhood and what you were used to waking up on Yule or Christmas morning, you know, what your parents gave you, or looking back 10 years and looking at the Christmases and the Yules and the Hanukkahs and whatever festival of light you celebrate, and making a comparison. And I think that we just have to approach things in a mature manner. We have to realise that everybody is in the same boat right now. We have to realise that, from a spiritual point of view, material possessions aren't everything. And we all know that, but it's very hard to put that into practice, isn't it, when it comes to giving to other people? You know, we all know that material objects and things and money are not what life is all about, but it's really difficult when you're a giving person and you want to give. But I think it's time really that we looked at a new way. You know, we look at doing things a bit differently. We look at time spent together instead as being a gift. We look at the things that we're buying people in terms of the health of the planet. And we also look at things, you know, in terms of money and what it's costing us. And there is absolutely 0 point lying awake at night worrying and getting yourself into a mess, and I guarantee all your friends and family will be doing exactly the same thing. So I think it's a time to have conversations with people, perhaps, you know, find out, can they financially manage to do things, especially, you know, if you can't as well, and come to an agreement. But I think it's time that we all found a new way really, and we put those fears and those worries to bed, because that's not what life is all about. So I think these cards reflect very much the energy of what a lot of us are feeling right now and how bad a lot of us are feeling right now. And I think a lot of us are reminiscing back to past times and past Christmases and past Yules, and it's a really, really difficult time right now. And it's very interesting actually, isn't it, the shift from the recent cards to these cards. And I'm not saying that they're negative cards per se, but you know, there's a definite shift in energy there, isn't there? But at the end of the day, love is, and it sounds cheesy, doesn't it, but love is all that matters. Myself, with my parents, we've decided between us that, you know, we're not going to do gifts this year because it's just too expensive, and instead we'll just enjoy the time together. After all, the spirit of Yuletide is actually the antithesis of consumerism and giving. Like at Yule, we would only ever give one gift, and a handmade gift if we could at all. You know, some years we don't do it, some years we do in our family. And yeah, I think it's time, isn't it, that we start looking at things differently, we start looking at life differently. And I think we're all being herded into thinking in those ways. For people that haven't before, I think this is kind of a new dawn for them. So yeah, whilst there is this flat energy that I've spoken about and many people are feeling sad, I actually just think that this is an opportunity for us spiritually to just carve a new way, carve a new path in life, and to do things a bit differently. And yeah, by all means, reminisce, look at the past, enjoy those memories. But don't do that with sadness. Things are just different now. And I think if we just go into this in a mature way, we'll realise that we're still the providers for our friends and families. We're still doing everything we should be. We're still making those commitments. We just need to do them a bit differently. So that's me done for today. It's been lovely to be back in a normal capacity, feeling much better and much more human. Again, thanks so much for your support in the last couple of weeks, and do give me some feedback on the direction of the channel and where you think we should move with it, because this isn't about me, it's about you guys, and it's about all of us together. And I intend to stick around. I just want to do that in a way that makes the most sense for the viewer. All right, so take care, stay warm, stay safe, and I'll be catching up with you next week. All right, lots of love, bye.